You know what? 20 seconds left on the timer. I'm impatient, so we're starting now. Oh, wait. Oh, snap, my voice makes the sound modulator thing go off too. Cool. Oh, I didn't even realize that. I've never had it on when when I've been talking. It says, oh, it's cool. All right, anyway. Bam. Hi. And welcome, everybody, to ranking every legendary Pokemon. Yes, every. From Gen 1 to Gen 8.5. We are starting. We are probably going to annoy a couple people with our choices, but honestly, I don't care. So, yeah. And we're not in our usual like 3D sort of get up here today because I couldn't get it looking good with with the tier list screen thing. But yeah. So we're going to be going over every form, megas, Therian forms, origin forms, all sorts of stuff like that. And we're going to be going over competitive viability, strengths, weaknesses, stuff like that. And we're going to be going over these and ranking them from S tier, which is absolute highest, down to F tier, which stands for friggin' awful. So let's begin, and let's start out with the very first legendary Pokemon. And I suppose technically that would be Mew, because it was like the first. It gave birth to all of the Pokemon that were actually on that are actually on Earth. But I think, you know what? I think we're going to go by Pokédex order. So let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. You know what? We'll just pull up the Pokemon Nicknames channel in the Discord. That way, we can go in order. Alright, so, according to the Pokédex, the very first legendary Pokemon in the Pokédex is Articuno, which is right here. Oh, these are in alphabetical order. Cool. Ballion. Yeah, okay. So, Articuno. Design-wise, I love it. Snowy, Arctic bird, love the color. Articuno, great Pokemon design. One of my favorites. And actually my favorite of the legendary bird trio. Having said that, competitively, not good. It's really not, because you get hit with one rock move, it's down. It's weak to electric, it's weak to fire, it's weak to rock. It's not the best, but purely, this is going to be a biased opinion, but pure aesthetics and nostalgia-wise for Articuno, we are going to go ahead and put Articuno in the B tier. Because, you know, great design, historic, obviously. It's the first legendary in the Pokédex. It's just not very competitively viable. Actually, you know what? We'll put you in C tier. We'll put it in C tier. Can't really be used very much competitively. But great design. So it kind of balances out. And the next one on the list is Zapdos, which, you know, kinda has the same sort of issue. Good design. Oh, well, actually, I think it goes a tier above Articuno here. Zapdos, I think, goes a tier above Articuno because one of its main weaknesses, ground type, it's immune to because it's also flying type. So, Zapdos has that one of the very rare unique traits of being automatically immune to one of its type weaknesses. So while it's not the strongest, it's definitely not one of the strongest legendary Pokemon out there. I like the design. I like its type immunity. It has its uses. If I got it in a Nuzlocke, I wouldn't be angry about it. Would definitely not be angry about it. So since it is immune to one of its weaknesses, I think it deserves to be in a tier higher than Articuno. And that's the main reasoning for that. Moltres. This does not have every legendary Pokemon on it. Realizing that right now. This does not have every legendary on it. But we'll cover that later. Moltres. Again, type immunity. Type immunity with the flying and fire. Immune to ground type. So I think it has the same sort of issue of not being the strongest thing in the world, but it has that type immunity. Having said that, I hate the design. It is literally just a chicken on fire. So I'm going to put it down in C tier with Articuno. It's also super weak. So now we're getting into the heavy hitters. All right. Mewtwo. It's so strong. I think, what gen was it? I don't remember what gen it was, but Mewtwo had the highest base stat total of any Pokemon until, what, gen 5? 6? Oh, I know the lore. I think just pure power alone. Just for the sake of pure power, I think Mewtwo goes A tier. And a lot of people are going to get mad that I don't put Mewtwo in S tier. And there's one specific reason I don't put Mewtwo in S tier. And that's because of its weaknesses. Ghost and Dark. It can't even hit Dark. Mewtwo does not learn any Fairy type moves. And it doesn't learn any Fighting type moves unless you teach it to him with a TM. And then with the Fighting type moves, they're not very good until you go to Mega Mewtwo X. Mega Mewtwo X automatically bumps it up into S tier for me. The physical attack with psychic moves, it's basically a better Gallade. And it's an absolute powerhouse. Absolute powerhouse. Deserves to be in S tier. And a lot of Megas are going to be in S tier. Just so you know, a lot of Megas are going to be in S tier. And part of me thinks I should leave the Megas out. Part of me thinks I should leave the Megas out because they are generation specific. But that's fine. It's fine. Alright, Mega Mewtwo Y drops it down into A. It's strong, it's very fast. Oh, I'm not bashing Gallade at all. But Mega Mewtwo X is a better Gallade. It just is. It's just better. Like, there's no getting around that. It's just better. Mega Mewtwo Y, it's faster. I think it goes above regular Mewtwo. It does lose a lot of its bulk, but with that, it gains speed, it gets stronger, so I think it goes a tier above, or just like a quarter tier above Mewtwo, but not all the way up to S rank with Mewtwo X. Alrighty, now, the birth giver of all Pokemon. B tier. It's not that it's bad. It's not that it can, like, great thing about Mewtwo, it's got the moves covered. You can set Mew up however you want. It can learn every TM. But, and this is a big but, kind of like mine, it's base stat total. It's 100 base stats across the board. What, 100? No. My brain just stopped. Wow. Yeah, Mew is versatile. It's not very strong. Yes, you can set Mew up to have Dragon Dance. You can set it up to have the Elemental Punches. You can have it set up to be a Psychic attacker. Like, you can set it up to be a Special attacker or whatever. Like, Mew is great. You can throw it in your team and have it fit any role. You can even have it learn Transform if you want. But it's just it's weak. It's weak, and it's going to be like that with all the mythicals. I mean, in fact, I can go ahead and throw Celebi. I'm going to throw Celebi in C tier. We're not to Celebi yet. We're getting there, but I'm throwing Celebi into C tier. It has the exact same problem as Mew, where it's not very strong, but actually, I'm dropping it down to D. Celebi's D tier. For one reason. Actually, a few reasons. Celebi is D tier for a few reasons. A, it's got all the weaknesses of Psychic. It's got all of the weaknesses of Grass, and it's quad weak to Bug. And it can't learn all the moves that Mew can. It can't learn all the moves that Mew can, which means it's not as versatile as Mew. I love Celebi. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. If this were pure favorites, if I were playing pure favorites here, Celebi would probably be A or B. But I gotta think about usefulness in battle as well. So now we get to the legendary dogs. And I love the legendary dogs. I love them. They are great. Entei is one of my favorite Pokemon. I mean, wait, we gotta do Raikou first. Raikou, there you are. Huh. I want to put Raikou in B tier. Which means I kind of feel like I have to move Zapdos. No, I think it's good there. I think it's good in B tier. Entei, I think, would be lower than Zapdos. There is kind of a trade-off because Entei is stronger than Zapdos. It can learn better moves, but it's not immune to ground type like Zapdos is. So you get the bulk and better moves, but you also have another vulnerability when it comes to typing. So I think Raikou, I don't want to say it's firm B tier. I think if I were running C+, if I had a tier in between B and C, I think Raikou would go safely in between those. But since I don't think it's quite B tier, I'm going to put it above Articuno because I do think it is better. I do think it is better than Articuno, but I think Zapdos is low B tier. I think Zapdos is low B tier. And since Raikou isn't immune to ground type, it's gotta be in C tier. I hate it because I like Raikou, but it is what it is. Entei goes into B tier. It's just so strong. Entei is so strong. With the addition later on of Stomping Tantrum, and high horsepower, things like that, things that Entei can learn. Its versatility is very, very useful. I think it is a solid B tier. I think it's a tier just a little bit above Zapdos. I think it's a little bit above Zapdos. Suicune, of the 3 legendary dogs, I think is like the most mid. It's a water type that learns a lot of ice moves. It's super bulky. It can definitely take a couple water type moves. Take a few grass type attacks before it goes down. With Rest and Toxic and its bulk, it is a really good stalling mon to use. So I think I'm going to put it above Zapdos, but below Entei, because I just think weaknesses-wise... Actually, no, I think Suicune would have to be above Entei in that regard. Less weaknesses. It's weaker, like damage output-wise than Entei, but it's bulkier. So I think Suicune goes slightly above Entei, just for sheer usability. Now, Lugia. Lugia. So, you say Lugia should be S tier. And part of me wants to agree with you. Part of me really wants to agree with you. It is super bulky. Aeroblast, Rest, Whirlwind, or not Rest, Recover, Toxic. Like, it's sheer usability in battle. Now, if I were running A+, if I were running an A+ rank, Lugia would go in that. However, I'm going to put Lugia in between Mewtwo Y and regular Mewtwo. I think that's right. I don't know. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. I think that's good. I think that's good. I think bulk-wise, yeah. It's got all the same weaknesses that Mewtwo has, along with Electric type and Rock type. So, you take the good, you take the bad. The thing with Lugia, though, the reason it's above regular Mewtwo is because it's so bulky. So bulky. Ho-Oh. Selena's favorite legendary, I believe. Ho-Oh goes... I think Ho-Oh goes above Mew. Above Mew, below Mewtwo. Again, extremely bulky, but that quad weakness to Rock type. That quad weakness to Rock type is just... Ugh. That's rough to deal with. It is very rough to deal with. And honestly, the only reason it's not below Entei is because it's immune to ground type. So, the immunity definitely helps it out there. Yeah, I think Ho-Oh goes solid B. Again, if I were running B+, it would be B+, but since I'm not, it's in B. And we already talked about Celebi, the disappointment that Celebi is. All right, now we're on to the Reggies. Regirock, Regirock. The annoying atrocities that are the Reggies. I'm putting them all. I'm just putting them all down here. Actually, you know what? F tier. I don't like the Reggies. Their one good thing is they blow up. I think maybe Regice might be a little higher. Maybe. Immunity to poison is nice with Registeel. Okay, I'll put Red. Registeel is actually more useful than Celebi, honestly. God. Do we do this? Do we put Celebi this low? I mean, it's not a ranking of every Pokemon. It's every legendary and mythical. So I guess it makes sense that Celebi would be kind of close to the bottom. I think this is right. And while we're on the topic of Reggies, let's just talk Regigigas. I'm a little biased. Because I love getting Regigigas in Nuzlocke because they're randomized and they don't get slow start. However, without slow start, Regigigas would be at the top easily. But with slow start, I think it drops down to C. I want to say it's still higher than Articuno. Especially if you can run like a rest substitute. Yeah, if you can run rest and substitute and keep Regigigas alive long enough in the battle, then it's super useful. Really strong, but with slow start, you have to keep it alive for 5 turns. That's just... Whew. All right, Latias. Meh. I'm pretty mid on these. The dragon typing is super useful, so I think it's in B tier, but I want to say it's below Entei, above Zapdos. I want to say below Entei, above Zapdos. And basically the same thing. Latias and Latios, basically the same thing. And even their megas, we'll just put their megas like right above, because they don't change that much. They get a little bit stronger, but they really don't change that much. I don't think they change enough to warrant being above Entei in regard to usefulness. Kyogre. Kyogre is going in A tier. Water Spout is absolutely... Calm Mind Water Spout is just absolutely ridiculous. And Primal Kyogre is going up into S tier. Only our second S tier, which is really nice. Groudon, unfortunately, does not break into A tier. And yes, I am saying Mew has more usability, more feasibility in battle than Groudon does. Groudon can one-shot Mew easily. But with Groudon, you're kind of a one-trick pony. You set up Drought, you set up the Fire team and the Grass team, and you go. That's really about it. Having said that, Primal Groudon, top A tier. because Desolate Land, just completely nullifying water type attacks. So useful, especially if you're running a ground rock team, fire team. So useful. The reason it's not an S tier is because when it primals, it gains the fire typing, which means it becomes weak to ground, because ground doesn't resist ground. It's completely neutral. So, unfortunate. It's super strong. It's extremely strong. Actually, I think Mega Mewtwo Y is still higher than that. But with its weakness to ground type, it can't break into S tier. Rayquaza. That's Mega. Okay, Rayquaza. Let's see. For Rayquaza, I think power-wise, I think I put you... You know what? I think you're above Lugia. Or below... No, you're above Lugia. Yeah. And for Mega Ray... Boom. Yes, it gets one-shot by an Ice-type attack. But they banned Mega Rayquaza. Mega Rayquaza was banned because it was too strong and too useful. Also, its design is fire. Fantastic design. Jirachi suffers from the Celebi sickness. Like, I think it's a tier higher than Celebi. I think it's very useful, especially with its ability, Serene Grace. You can set up Ancient Power. In fact, I may have put a video out on the channel. I don't know if I have. I know I have them saved in the Discord. I have some Showdown replays saved in the Discord where I just sweep people's teams with a single Jirachi. So I'll have to see if I've uploaded those. If I haven't, I'll just upload them on Monday. Maybe sooner. So having said that, I think its ability to solo with Serene Grace, Ancient Power bumps it up, but with its weaknesses, you know, it's weak to fire, it's weak to ground, it's weak to dark. It gained a resistance to dragon at least, which is good. So I think it goes... It's still B tier, but I think it goes above the Mega Latis. Again, base stat total not super high. If it were higher, it might even go into A tier. And imagine, like, I literally drug it into D tier until I thought about how, like, it could literally solo because it has a higher chance for Ancient Power to actually get the boost. Alrighty. Deoxys. Regular Deoxys. Just put you C tier. You're so mid. Speed is good for setting up like hazards and stuff, but I think it's still lower than base Deoxys. Deoxys defense form, pretty high, pretty good. And attack form, I think has meh. I'm very meh on Deoxys. Look, if you like Deoxys, cool. I'm happy for you. But it's so mid. Like, why have a Deoxys when you can have a Mewtwo? You know what I mean? And on top of everything, yeah, it gets a bunch of those forms, but it has never gotten, like, a Mega form. And there's no, like, Deoxys form that, like, stands out, like, head and shoulders above the rest. Like, if there had been, like, a Deoxys perfect form, or something like that, like, Deoxys Perfected or Omnioxys. I don't know. Something where like it's exposed to a Mega Stone and it just gets all of the attributes that it would have gotten. Like just a higher base stat total. Then it would be up in Mewtwo category, I think. Alrighty. Next up are the Lake Spirits. So, Uxie. Bulky. Decent. But again, it's got the mythical low stat totals. Mesprit, same thing. Azelf, I think, is better. I think Azelf is the best of the three. Yeah. I don't like them being there, but that's kind of just where they ended up. Dialga. Dialga is going in A tier. Above Groudon. Dialga has 2 weaknesses. And that's it. And its main weakness, which was Fairy, was made neutral with the Steel typing. So, Dialga just... It's so good. Dialga is just so good. Honestly, I think it goes above Mega Mewtwo Y. I think it does. Do I dare put it in S tier? Do I put Dialga in S tier? Maybe Origin Dialga we put in S tier. But it's not on this list, so. Palkia. Where are you? There you are. Palkia, unfortunately, not as good. Not as good as Dialga, but still very strong. Very, very strong. Its main weaknesses, grass and water. I'm pretty sure Dragon resists grass. I could be wrong. I could actually be wrong there. I'm looking it up. I was right. Dragon does resist grass. So, its weaknesses, Dragon and Electric, nullified. Ice, nullified with water. Unfortunately, Fairy typing, still very weak to that. In fact, excuse me again, it has to hit Fairy types with water attacks, which I don't think there's a Fairy ground type, so. Having said that, there is a Fairy rock type, but we'll get to them later. Heatran. Very forgettable, in my personal opinion. It's strong, yeah, but its main purpose, I think, is just set up stealth rocks and die. Quad weak to ground. Frickin' neutral to water, yeah, which is nice. So basically, you set up air balloon with Heatran, and you hope and pray that they don't hit you with a fighting type move instead. And we already talked about Regigigas. Giratina. Base form. Giratina base form. It's strong, but it's got a lot of weaknesses. So I think we put Giratina above Groudon. Yeah, I like that. Giratina above Groudon. Above Mew, below Ho-Oh, I think. Now, origin form, Giratina. It's just stronger. It's just so much stronger. Faster. So, I think usability-wise, it definitely jumps up quite a few steps here. Crescelia. Where are you? There you are. Forgettable. Bulky. Not super strong. I say forgettable. I like Crescelia. It's annoying as hell to catch. But again, it's not really that strong. Fione, however you want to pronounce it. Super weak, limited to one type. Honestly, I think it's F tier. I think Fione goes F tier. Manaphy, as delightful as Manaphy is, it is better than Fione. But it's low base stat total. It doesn't learn a lot of really good moves. It doesn't have any moves unique to itself. It can learn Tail Glow, which is nice. But I think I would prefer literally any of the Lake Spirits to Fione, or Manaphy, especially considering it's not even Psychic type. It's just Water type. Pure Water type with all the strength and weaknesses therein. It's above Regice, and it's above Celebi, but it's still below Crescelia, I think. All right, Darkrai. Darkrai has the unique distinction of being the only one to actually be able to use Dark Void. Even Smeargle can't use Dark Void anymore because they realized it was broken. So Dark Void being able to put both of your opponent's Pokemon to sleep, just 100% guaranteed, and it does damage, and with the Nightmare ability or the Bad Dreams ability, just pure usability, Darkrai is very good. It doesn't learn a lot of good moves. It does not learn a lot of good moves. I think it's better than Ho-Oh if you're allowed to use it properly, because I'm pretty sure there's some things that have been banned, some things that have been nerfed about Darkrai in later games. But if we're just looking at like the history of Darkrai, I think low A tier compared to all of these is fair. I mean, a Machoke can kill it in one hit, but you know, Darkrai versus Mewtwo, Darkrai's gonna win. Unless that Mewtwo has Aura Sphere, in which case, oops. Shaymin. Oof. I'm gonna hurt some feelings with Shaymin. It's bulky. I like it. It's cute. I would totally have one as a pet. I think it's better than Regirock. We'll say that. I think it's better than Regirock, but I still think it's at the bottom of the tier list. Now Shaymin Skye. Shaymin Skye goes way up. You got increased speed, you've got increased attack, you've got better moves. It gets much more usable. It gets much more usable. Arceus. Literal god. I don't think it's S tier. I've been thinking about these in the context of a single Pokemon battle. How they could be used in a single Pokemon battle. Like, say you're in a champion battle in a game. What are the viabilities of these Pokemon in that one battle. Okay? Arceus, well, yes, you can change its plate out and you can make it any typing that you want, right? It's still only going to be one typing for the entire battle. And for a single move, for Judgment, I mean, it's very strong. Arceus is extremely strong. And lore-wise, it should be top S tier. But considering single Pokemon battle usage, in fact, single Pokemon battle usage, I'm moving Dialga up. I think Arceus has to be low A tier. If I keep talking about it, then it'll probably go down to B. But I think based on like just how high Arceus' stats are, I think A tier is fair for it. Victini, V-Create is nice. I've used it quite a few times in Showdown. Victory Star is a really good ability for double battles. But I think it go, you know what, top C tier. We'll go top C tier, because I think Shaymin Skye is going to be more useful than Victini. Yeah. And that's really not that bad. Like, C tier, all of these Pokemon are still completely viable in a Pokemon battle. Just depends on how you build your team. So, let's go down to the Swords of Justice now. Cobalion. There you are. Cobalion, not bad, not great. I think I'd put it between the Latis and their Megas. Swords Dance, Iron Head. Yeah, I think that's fair. Below a Mega. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Tarakion, not nearly as good. I'm gonna put you down right between Crescelia and badass here. Virizion, arguably the worst of these Swords of Justice. However, I think it is more useful than Tarakion. Yeah. Okay, the wind spirits, or the genies, or whatever you want to call them. We have Tornadus. Cloud form Tornadus. God, I don't use these guys enough to know how they're super useful in a battle. It's the only pure flying type. I know that much. So I think I'm gonna put it just right above Entei, but I think Suicune is still more useful than it. Now, Fairy and Tornadus, yeah, the stats go up, but I still think Suicune's better. Thundurus. Where's regular Thundurus? I see Theory. There you are. Thundurus. I think you go right there. Therian Thundurus. I think you go above Mew. I think the disparity... This... do we do that? I think I drop you down. I think you're fine where you are. You're fine where you are, but I think typing-wise, I think the pure flying type is better than the flying electric. Strength-wise, though, I think this is a fair... I think that's fair. If you have any arguments, you're more than welcome to argue with me. I'm not gonna, you know, get pissy with anybody. Landorus, you are above Therian Thundurus. And Therian Landorus, you are right below Arceus in A tier. Therian Landorus is stupid good. Just stupid good. Honestly, I think I would put you above Darkrai. A flying type that's immune to electric moves. That's just stupid good. With Intimidate too. Wow. All right, Reshiram. Fire Dragon. I think power-wise, it's above Ho-Oh because it's still got the bulk, but it can also do a lot of damage. That's where I think I'm gonna put you. All right, Zekrom. Honestly, same. I think same for Zekrom. Now there's a bunch of Curums. This little baby Curum, I think below Thundurus. Curum Black and Curum White, I think they're both above Darkrai. But I think that's right. That feels right. I mean, they do get a bit of a power boost. But would I put Lugia above them? Oh, that's the question. I think I may have gotten a little bunched up here. I think these go right here. And I think Mewtwo actually goes above Lugia. Yeah. All right, Keldeo. Right around Shaymin Skye in Keldeo sword form. It's not that much better, but a little bit better at least. Meloetta. Glass cannons. They have that mythical curse where, like, they're okay. They do decent enough damage, but they're kind of limited. I think I would actually put them below the Lake Spirits. Genesect, kinda roughly the same. I would put it right below Arceus. With download is really good. quad weak to fire. I think Genesect goes right below. Right below Giratina? I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Right below Giratina seems fair for me. Xerneas. Xerneas is going right up here. Above Primal Kyogre, in my opinion. I mean, Power Mancy Geo Herb. Power Mancy Geo Herb. I'm not correcting myself. Now, Yveltal. Not as good. Not as good. I think it goes below Zekrom and Kyurem. Or Zekrom and Reshiram. It's good. It's good. But meh. Alright, Zygarde. We'll start with Babu. Doggo Zygarde. Definitely C tier for that one. This Zygarde. Its quad weakness to ice is just such a bummer. So I think you go above the cloud forms of the genies. In Zygarde, 100%. That quad weakness is a big bummer. I think B tier is fair. Right above Ho-Oh. 1,000 Arrows is so good. 1,000 Waves, keeping things from being able to be swapped out. But again, that quad weakness to ice and then being weak to dragon. If you can get the setup, it's very good. But you need the setup. With these up here, you don't necessarily need the setup, and the whole reason Xerneas is up here is because its setup is one turn, and then you're done. Setup one turn, sweep. With all the rest of these, you kind of need more than one turn. Okay, Diancie. The first Mega we've seen in a while. I think Diancie's good for setting up Stealth Rocks. Stealth Rocks and Moonblast is very good. I would say it's above Zapdos. Above the Latis. Yeah, I think right above Jirachi. Right above Jirachi. Mega Diancie is kind of cracked, not gonna lie. I'm going to put you right above base Kyurem. Just based on sheer usefulness. Hoopa. Babu Hoopa. We'll put you above Registeel and Hoopa Unbound. We are going to throw you right below Arceus. One fighting type move and Hoopa's dead. Honestly, like, Hoopa is a glass cannon. It's very strong, but it's still, like, it goes down real quick. So if it had some bulk to back it up, I would move it up higher. But I think low A tier is fair for Hoopa. Unbound. Volcanion. Fire type with Water Absorb. Very good. Very good. I'm going to put you above Genesect for usefulness. Now we go to the Tapus. Tapu Koko! Tapu Koko's fun. I like using Tapu Koko. I would say it's above Darkrai. Tapu Lele. Right below Coco. Honestly, the Tapus are kind of even. Tapu Bulu, I would say, is above Tapu Koko. Grassy Surge, do we put it above Therian Landorus? I do think we move regular Kyogre down some. No, I think Therian Landorus is still better. Tapu Fini. Probably the worst of the Tapus. I'm actually gonna put that below Ho-Oh. Alright, Cosmog. Boop. Cosmium. Boop. Solgaleo. Yeah, we'll put Solgaleo right there. Lunala. Single battle usefulness. If you can set up the Calm Minds, it's really good. But the problem is, it's quad weak to Dark and Ghost. So for the two quad weaknesses alone, I think it has to go down in C tier, but at least above Victini. And yes, that does mean that, oh, what the hell's his name? Keldeo. I would take a Keldeo over a Lunala. Alright, looks like the Ultra Beasts aren't actually built into this one. Unfortunate. I don't know why they wouldn't put the Ultra Beasts in. Maybe because they're not technically legendaries, per se. They're regular Pokemon from a different universe. Necrozma. I'd say, honestly, power-wise, right below Mewtwo. Dawn. And you go right there. Marshadow. Marshadow was very good. I say B tier for Marshadow. I'd say B tier for Marshadow. Like, it's really good for being able to steal stats, which is great because once you steal the stats, you can sweep. But you get hit with one psychic type move, you're basically donezo. All right, Magearna. The Soul Heart ability is really nice. Unfortunately, its main attack, Flare Cannon, drops its special attacks, so kind of hoping to knock out the entire team in one shot. I think it's above... We'll put it above the Megalates, but below Jirachi. And the last one they have on this list is Zera Aura. And I think Zera Aura is right between Solgaleo and Marshadow. Meltan is not built into this list, unfortunately. So, we'll say Meltan, probably going to be F. Melmetal, being banned from certain competitions, I'm going to put up in S tier, because Pure Steel type is really good. Double Iron Bash is really good. Really good. Zacian, you got to put in S tier. Or Zacian Crowned, you have to put in S tier. Regular Zacian, A tier. Zamazenta Crowned, I'm gonna say low A tier. Regular Zamazenta, I'm gonna say above Crowned Zamazenta, I think. Eternatus, between Mega Mewtwo Y and Primal Groudon. Cubfu, F tier. Urshifu, S tier. For both. They're so strong. Their ability to get through Protect is insane. Zarude, probably B tier. Regieleki, starting out the battle, I'm gonna have to say Regieleki goes S tier. Regidrago, A tier. Glastrier probably high B tier. Spectrier, high B tier. Calyrex, S tier. The As One ability, completely nullifying your opponent's ability to use berries. It's super useful. So, yeah. That is all of the legendaries so far. If you think I missed any, if you think I missed out on any of my assertions, I don't know what the word would be, let me know in the comments down below. And for those of you that were here live, thank you so much for watching. And I will see you in the next one. Be sure to like the video. And I'll see you guys in the Discord. And I'll see you on Monday on Twitch for some stuff. Yeah. Short stream, but this is really all I wanted to get done today.